In this video, you're going to learn the only drawing tools you actually need in Illustrator, and these are essential for creating icons, illustrations, and logos. So we're going to start with a sketch, and then we're going to turn it into some clean vector line work, and we're going to fix some common issues that you'll run into along the way as well. But if you do want to go deeper, my full Illustrator course is linked below. So we're in Illustrator, and we have a sketch of a panther. This was by one of our community members, Andrea, and this looks flippin' awesome. So what we're going to do is start with this sketch, and we're going to try and do the line work using a variety of different tools. So first of all, I'm going to select this and just bring down the opacity just so I can see it, but not enough that it's going to get in the way when I start putting the line work in. So yeah, 35%. We'll lock this with Command or Control 2, and then we'll just zoom in a bit. And then what we're going to do is start by grabbing the pencil tool. Now you can use the pen tool, and we'll come back to that for a few bits, but the pencil tool is great because you just are able to draw really smooth lines really quickly and easily. And if you're using a pen display, for example, it can make this process incredibly quick. So the pencil tool is hiding under here. There you go. Click and hold, grab the pencil tool. Now, if you start using this like just straight off, well, we can't see anything. So let's go and press D for the default colors and get rid of that fill. And you can see these lines, they don't look particularly good and they won't be particularly smooth. So here's the trick. Double click on the pencil tool and it brings up this window here. Now we can crank up the fidelity. I'm not going to go all the way smooth. I'm going to probably go just one under because there's another tool that we'll come back to in a bit as well that is incredibly useful. And we're going to make sure we've got edit selected paths turned on as well, and I'll show you why in a second, and hopefully I don't screw this up. And by the way, I'm using a mouse as well, so I'm not using the pen display or anything. You can do this with a trackpad and whatever you like and still get really nice curves. So let's just go and do this one line with my super steady hand. There we go, and you can see it's created 3 anchor points and it's a nice smooth curve. And let's go and chunk the weight up a little bit. Now what we can do as well is we can continue this by hovering over that last point, and we can actually then go and continue that line. So that's not too bad. We can also press Command or Control Shift A, and that will deselect everything, and then we could start doing another line, for example. So you can see it's not the smoothest, but we will fix that, don't worry. And at the moment, all of this is the same weight, but I'll show you how you can change weight a bit later on as well, which is perfect for illustrations. Let's start here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click this last one. I'm not really too happy with how that turned out. So because I have the option selected, where is it? Here, edit selected paths. What I can do with the pencil tool is just draw over the path and effectively try and reshape it. So let's go again. Sometimes it does this. If it does, in fact, there's another setting I'm going to turn off, live preview. Sometimes this is really good. But for me personally, I think I'm actually going to turn this off. Yeah, there we go. So if it doesn't do it, it doesn't redraw it, just have another crack at it. That's fine. Now you can see we've got a weird little kinky bit here. What we can do is we can actually go and grab the smooth tool for this. Now you can set a keyboard shortcut for this because it doesn't have one, and you've got the slider here which will smooth out everything, but you can see it sort of mucks up what I've done here as well. So with this tool, I'm just going to click and drag over this path, and you can just drag over the lines and you can see it smooths everything out. So this is really useful if you want to just quickly brush over a line and instantly get a smooth result. And this one here, if I want to get back that sharp edge and it's rounded it off too much, we can just use the direct selection tool, click in this point here between the paths, and then we could go and grab the pen tool and just click and drag like this, and then just fine tune that. You can just, get it quite close and then go and smooth it if you want. So sometimes I'll throw in like the pen tool and just connect things up and then just quickly grab the smooth tool and just brush over it. It can sometimes, if you smooth tool things too much, it can make it worse. And it can be very easy to lazily use the smooth tool, but it can be very useful in a pinch as well. Just be mindful that it will manually alter your geometry. So if you're trying to create things very precisely with the pen tool, you can see here, it does just generate a bunch of random anchor points. Now, the good news is we could actually use the pen tool to get rid of these points. So if you've got too much geometry and it's making it difficult to work with, what you can do is just streamline it, simplify everything. So we've got fewer anchor points now, which is just much easier to edit. And then we can just go in and fine tune things. Or like we did before, we can grab the smooth tool and just quickly do that. And for this sort of illustration where we don't need everything to be perfectly precise, it can be very handy. Now what I'm going to do is go to edit, keyboard shortcuts, and we can do a search here for the smooth tool, and I'm actually going to set a keyboard shortcut. So for me, I like to have Shift S. This is actually for the symbol sprayer tool, but I don't use that. I don't know if you use it or not, but I'm going to replace it because I use the smooth tool a heck of a lot more. So we'll call this Dansky keyboard shortcuts. There we go, the most original name ever. And then what we're going to do is try and pull these different techniques together to just finish off some of the line work. So again, we're going to grab the pencil tool and just do this here, go around like this. So you can crank up the smoothness if you want to, but for me personally, sometimes I don't want things to be perfectly smooth. So I kind of have it one setting in from the most smooth, and then I just manually smooth it where I need to. We can use the pencil tool just to redraw that last one. There we go. And then we can grab the direct selection tool and just bring these in. And you can see the smart guides snap everything as well. All of these different tools and techniques together enable us to very quickly do some line work. Now for this one here, if I do want to continue this path, what I can do is I can select this and then click from that last point. I'll show you here with the top of the ear actually. We'll deselect with Command or Control Shift A. We're going to draw the first line. Now if I carry this round with the smoothness really high, it's going to round off that top part. So what we need to do is we need to click and drag. We need to let go, but not move the position of the cursor. Click and drag again. So we're starting a new line, but it will all stay connected. And then we'll deselect again. So we're just drawing each line and then deselecting afterwards. Oh, this is so much harder with a mouse. We're going to try and do it in one go. That's pretty good, actually. It ain't going to get better than that. So here, zigzag. With the pencil tool, actually, we can hold Alt or Option and click and drag, and this lets us draw in straight lines as well. If you do have some lines that are going to be straight, just hold down Alt or Option, and it's going to make them beautifully straight. Let's do the last bit with the pen tool as well. And I always combine the two. I never just use one or the other. Sometimes if I'm having trouble with a curve with the pencil tool, the pen tool gives me a bit more precision, and but the pen tool can be a bit slower because you've got to figure out where the anchor points are. You've got to drag them out in the right places, and sometimes the pencil tool just lets you create and iterate a little bit more freely. If I click on here, it's going to then add a point to this path and confuse it, but I do want this path to kind of run through the same place. So what you can do is just click next to it, drag the curve out, and then press A for the direct selection tool, and then just drag it manually on like this. And then we should be able to click it and carry on that way. So just create your anchor point next to where you want it to go, manually drag it so it snaps, and then just carry on as you would. You can see it's adjusting both sides now. So if you don't want that, what we're going to do is click here and then hold Alt or Option, and now it's only going to let me edit one half. So sometimes you kind of want to break the Bezier curve and just edit one side independently of the other. Of course, we're doing this very quickly, and we could go and refine this a lot more later. I'm sorry, Andrew, this has gone a bit wonky. But honestly, it's not really about this particular end result. Obviously, I'm trying to speed run this. It's these same tools and techniques used with a bit more care, precision and time that are incredibly useful. There we go. I'd like to say it's pretty good. Let's just zoom out, chuck this out the way for now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to zoom in and try and refine everything. We've got a lot of sharp edges here. If I did want to adjust this, the first thing I would do actually was change the stroke type. So we'll round off the caps. So any end points are sort of rounded off, which is a bit nicer. And then we'll round off the corners. So you can see the corners like here go from sharp and spiky to a little bit more round. And these points here as well, sharp and spiky to round. And we can then go and adjust these. So it's very, very easy to make these adjustments with these different tools. But of course, if we go into outline mode with Command or Control Y, you can see when you're kind of doing it with the pencil tool, you're freehanding it, things aren't always going to line up. So we just need to go around here and just make sure that our geometry is, look at that, completely off, really precise. And we could join these together if we wanted to. So we could select them both and press Command or Control J. That will join them together. There's another trick I'd like to show you as well, but I need to find a piece of path that is suitable. This is something that I didn't do for years. And when I started doing it, I think probably a couple of years ago, it made my life a lot easier. Yeah, this one, we can put that right into the corner. I think a lot of this is looking good. These 2 points here. In fact, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this one apart. So let's just make a little cut and I'll show you this technique. Sometimes you'll get points like this and they'll be super close and you want to just pull 2 anchor points to the exact same coordinates. So then you can merge them. So if you select them both, go to Object, down to Path. Here you've got Join, but underneath you've got Average. Select this, leave both checked and click OK. And it will pull these anchor points to the exact same coordinates. You see that it just brings them in and then we can just select them and join them with Command or Control J. Honestly, the average and then join combination makes this so quick when it comes to cleaning up line work and stuff. You can just grab anchor points, even if there's 3 or 4 anchor points that are all close but not quite aligned, and then you can just snap them all together and you don't have to do it manually then. Because sometimes you can zoom in loads and it looks okay, but it's just ever so slightly off. And doing it with the average feature, like here, it's not quite there. Do doing it with the average feature just gives you the confidence to know that everything has snapped precisely. And if we go out of outline mode again, I think that looks pretty good. We've made pretty short work of that, to be honest. When it comes to stroke weights as well, obviously we've done all the line work for this, so we can adjust the weight, we can make it thinner, we can make it thicker. Some illustrative styles, people vary the stroke weight, and you can do this as well in Illustrator. So you can see some of these strokes here are a bit thicker and thinner. This is very intentional, and you'll see this with a lot of illustrative styles. And I'll just show you this technique. I'm not going to profess to be an illustrator, but certainly not of designs like this, but I will show you this technique and you can play around with it. So we can grab the width tool, we can click and drag on a path, and we can adjust the stroke weight. So I could make this bit thinner, and then I could click and drag and make this little bit here a bit thinner. Down here, we can make this thinner as well. So we really can control that stroke weight. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll bring it thinner here as well. And if you want to work with specific values, so it's not all random, you can double click the point where you made that width tool edit. Then you can enter in a value. So we could have, 15 is going to be the thicker value. So we could do the same 15 there. And then our thinner value becomes like 4, for example. So you really can play around with it. So let's do a few more. We'll thicken this bit up here and then make it a bit thinner there. I'll just try and do this quickly to show you what I mean and how it can look. So you can see applied across an entire design. This will really give it like a much more illustrated style. One thing I would like to demonstrate as well though, is if I just go back a second, we'll go back to where it was all the same weight, is the shape builder tool. And once you've done the line work and you've snapped everything and lined it up precisely, which is very important, how you can then add colors to your graphics very easily. Now we're going to find out if I've screwed this up or not. So what do we got? We've got this bit here with the smile, the eyes and the nose. They all need to be solid black. So we're going to select everything, very important, and then grab the shape builder tool. And we should, if I've done this correctly, fingers crossed, be able to hover over the different segments and see them selected. Okay, you can see not all of them are. So this one here, the nose, that's good. The mouth, that's good. But this bit, there is some sort of disconnect here. And what we've got to do, and this does happen very often, is find out where it is. So we're off back into outline mode. Well, first of all, I'm going to pull these paths together so they definitely do snap. And then down here, we've got to zoom in loads. Sometimes it could be one of these that is slightly off. So what it usually means is there's usually a gap. It could be like the tiniest gap, but Illustrator sees it as a gap is a gap. And so it can't identify that exact section. So if I just try and do this again, select everything. Okay, so there we go. We've made some sort of progress. If I grab this line here, watch this, and scale this way over the lines, I've overshot it. This can be a bit of a workaround actually. We can then grab everything again, and now I can select it, and then I can hold Alt or Option and click to trim those endpoints off. So it can be very fiddly using the shape builder tool, but it's good to get used to how to diagnose stuff like this because, this is just going to happen. Here's our big gap as well. I don't know how I missed that. So we're just going to adjust that there. We'll do something like that for now. Actually, no, we won't. That's not what I should do. We're going to draw a curve over for the other eye, select everything, and just use the shape builder tool again to trim it off. Please let me select the eye now. 1, 2, okay, this bit here. So sometimes even when you line things up perfectly, it still won't highlight that whole section. I brute force it and just overshoot the lines. Yeah, there we go. So that would be my advice, is just to, if you really can't get it to mark the selection, overshoot the lines so they all overlap and there's just no doubt whatsoever. The lines are touching and there are no gaps. So remove doubt. Right, we would need to do this for the whole thing to color it up. In fact, actually, I think we pretty much have, apart from that one there, but we don't need to worry about that for now. What you've got to do is once you've closed all the gaps and everything is its own segment, we can then single click in these different segments. And what this does is it will define it as its own shape effectively. So now I've clicked in these different segments here. We could do the head as well, but I would go and do it for every section, and we should now be able to apply some color. So if we grab the live paint bucket tool, we can click to make this a live paint group, go and choose a fill color. So I'm just going to use black, and then we just click, 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 and it's literally that simple. Lots of different tools and techniques: pencil tool, smooth tool, pen tool, direct selection tool, joining, paths, fixing problems, the shape builder tool, the live paint bucket tool. And you can use all of these together interchangeably to get a specific end result. And as I say, this is taking Andrea's design and I'm just quickly throwing it together. But of course, if you spend a bit longer on it and practice those different tools and techniques, you can use them to create some pretty cool illustrative work.